We're starting fresh, guys. Welcome in to potentially a brand new series. I'm not sure where I really want to take this. Maybe I do one update video a month on the 2023 NFL draft situation. We've just completed the 2022 draft. I gave out all my overall team grades, my best picks, my worst picks, yada, yada, yada. But guys, we are on to a brand new big board, and this is actually a composite big board. People have already started coming out with different mock drafts. We'll talk about that. But I just wanted to talk about the quick big board, whether or not I agree with some of these players. I believe there's a lot of players on here. So we could just go through like the top 50 players. And the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to this big board is the just overall elite talent. So many of these players on here, I recognize they're former 5 stars. It's crazy. CJ Stroud was a top 50 recruit. Will Anderson was a 5-star. Bryce Young was a 5-star. JSN was a 5-star. Jalen Carter was a 5-star. Myles Murphy, all of these guys. Eli Ricks just had a little run-in. He got arrested with some marijuana. I don't think it's going to be a big issue. He's a really good cornerback transfer. We'll be talking about him. But when it comes to the top of the board, guys, if we're just going by big board overall, to me, there's 3 super prospects. This is very different from the 2022 class, which was extremely deep. With this class, you've got 3 high-end super prospects, and I would rank them Will Anderson number 1, CJ Stroud number 2, and Bryce Young number 3. There's going to be some debate about whether or not Bryce Young should be in front of CJ Stroud. I'm talking about more pro potential. We understand Bryce Young won the Heisman last year. He's a phenomenal college quarterback, but his overall stature is not what they love when it comes to NFL pro quarterbacks. CJ Stroud is just an absolute man. Will Anderson, like one of the best prospects I've seen in my entire life. He's my number 1 prospect. Jackson Smith-Njigba, to me with JSN, he's guaranteed to be a first-round pick. He's guaranteed to be a top 15 pick, but he does have some measurable limitations, like he's not going to run a 4.2 40 or anything like that. So him being 4th overall is a little aggressive. Jalen Carter is one of those 5-star defensive tackles from Georgia. I would put Brian Brazier in front of Myles Murphy. I would probably have Myles Murphy as a mid-first rounder at this point. These are 2 former 5 stars. Clemson had a crazy defensive recruiting class in 2019, I think. Either 2019 or 2020. And these kids are all juniors now. They also have Trenton Simpson. Is Trenton Simpson on here? DJ Uiagalelei's at 33. Wow, they have Joey Porter low. I love Joey Porter. Joey Porter is actually my number 1 cornerback in front of Eli Ricks. And Eli Ricks is going to be a beast. But other guys, Michael Mayer, that's a man. That is a grown man. Really good tight end prospect. Eli Ricks, former 5-star beast. Bijan Robinson, another former 5-star recruit. Almost went to Ohio State. You know, it'll be interesting with the organizational philosophy. How early do you draft a running back? We didn't see a running back go in the first round this year. He'll probably be a late first-round pick. Nolan Smith is actually the former number 1 overall recruit. I think he's a bit overrated based on what I've seen him do in college. We'll see. Ringo, former top 5 overall recruit. Paris Johnson Jr., former top 10 overall recruit. He does need to prove himself. He was a guard last year. He's kicking it outside. He's going to be a pure tackle. We're expecting some big things out of him. BJ Ojanile, not familiar with him. Seems like one of those trendy edge rushers. Jordan Edison. Guys, the Jordan Edison situation is disgusting with what happened. It looks like he's transferring to USC. USC bought Jordan Edison a nice little beachfront home. They gave him $3 million in NLI money. It's disgusting. But he looks like he is transferring to play for Lincoln Riley due to name, image, likeness. So he will be with Caleb Williams. That's going to be a crazy offense. Keyshawn Boutte, former 5-star, Noah Sewell, all of these kids, they're becoming so accurate with the recruiting rankings. It's unbelievable. Even this kid from Northwestern, you would think this kid would be some 3-star. 247 Sports, their rankings had this kid as a 5-star. The overall composite had him lower. But Sewell I love, by the way. Noah Sewell is a top 5 prospect for me right now. That's how good he is. And then Trenton Simpson's Trenton Simpson is there. I must have just missed him. Brandon Joseph would be the first one to me. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing a first-round player with him. This Hodges Tomlinson, not familiar with, moved up 79 spots. Derek Hall, no. Justin Floan, former 5-star. Jarrett Patterson, this kid was like a 6th-round pick if he would have come out this year. I'm not seeing it. So the 2 Alabama safeties, I like Jordan Battle more than Malachi Moore. I think Malachi Moore is more of a 2nd or 3rd round pick. Zion Nelson is kind of an interesting offensive tackle that was being mocked in the 1st round of earlier mock drafts for the 2022 class earlier this year. He had a bad junior year. He's back. We'll have to see. Gibbs, this is a transfer portal get for Alabama from Georgia Tech. He's a former top 50 overall recruit. You know, Ohio State was in on him, but they weren't able to land him. Some of these guys I'm not familiar with. Jackson Kirkland, that very interesting kid who actually declared for the 2022 draft and then had a major injury. Now he's in 2023. Uilangile, it's going to be tough. You know, they have him ranked 33 based on the potential. Marvin Mins is another really good player, really good receiver. Joey Porter Jr., I said it. This is my CB1 of the class, Penn State. This kid is a dog. Spencer Rattler, perhaps one of the most interesting careers when it comes to, a college quarterback. He's with Lincoln Riley going into his junior season. He's the favorite for the Heisman. And a major bust. This is a former 5-star. He's got elite arm talent. He was getting comparisons to Patrick Mahomes. We'll see how he does with South Carolina. He's going to be kind of a Matt Corral type quarterback prospect in terms of he's got elite potential, but he's inconsistent. Maybe a little Sam Howell. We know Sam Howell fell to the 5th round. Zach Evans, very interesting. That kid needs to, we'll see how he does at Ole Miss. He transferred there. Sean Tucker is a fun little player. I don't think he's going to be a 2nd-round pick. But just looking at these, Cameron Ward, he's a transfer. That's Cameron Ward. He's an FCS transfer at Washington State. He should be a fun guy. And then there's just some other guys down there. I'm trying to see. Josh Downs, I love Josh Downs. Josh Downs is a draft crush for me. I really do like him. Is there a Stevenson is a beast from Miami as a prospect, just as an overall. I don't even know what camera to look at. Just as an overall specimen. Stevenson, Will Malley, another kid from there. Just looking through Slovis, that's an interesting. Brendan Armstrong. I would have Brendan Armstrong maybe as my number 10 or number 11 overall prospect right now. Unbelievably talented quarterback, Virginia, former 3-star. There's some 3-star love. Jane Daniels, the transfer from Arizona State. Gilbert, the former 5-star tight end. He's on here. That's funny to see that. Grayson McCall, he had one of the best, most accurate years in college football history when it came to overall, percentage or something. Ronnie Bell, he suffered that terrible injury the week 1 of last year. We'll have to see if he comes back. Yeah, just look at Logan Brown. There's a former 5-star. We'll have to see. Dexter is another former 5-star. We'll see if those guys can put it together. Julian Fleming. Oh, I'm rooting for Julian so much for Ohio State. We'll have to see. Here's 2 guys, actually 3 guys that I like way more. Mullen, the cornerback from Indiana, I would have as a top 25 player right now. Zach Charbonnet is a beast. He's basically Jonathan Taylor 2.0. He's got a chance to be the number 2 running back in the class next year behind only Bijan Robinson. And then Zach Harrison, also Walker Parks I like, but Zach Harrison was a 2nd-round pick if he wanted to declare in 2022. He went back to school, and suddenly he's a 4th-round pick now, ranked 128th. That's a little disrespectful. It really is. Brenton Cox Jr., there's another top recruit. I just remember some of these guys from recruiting and things like that. But, yeah, I think that's going to be it in terms. JT Daniels, amazing. Marcus Hooker's in the transfer portal, bro. He's not, I don't think he's going to draft. There's Bo Nix. Bo Nix now at Oregon. That should be really fun. But guys, looking at an actual mock draft, well, this isn't the mock draft, is it? No, this is, boy, I hate my computer so much. This is the overall odds, like the overall Vegas odds, who's going to finish with the worst record. So they've got it right now, Atlanta with the number 1 pick, Houston, and then Detroit. If I were to predict right now, I would say the Houston Texans for sure, and also the Detroit Lions are the 2 teams that will be getting Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Atlanta is in a very interesting position. They're not going to be good next year, but they did draft Desmond Ridder. So even if they have the number 1 overall pick, they might just take the super prospect pass rusher from Bama, Will Anderson, who might win the Heisman, by the way. He's unbelievable. Or you could trade down, and next year, unlike 2022 where the number 1 pick wasn't very valuable because there was no superstar quarterback, in 2023, the number 1 pick is going to be so valuable. And the Houston Texans, it's clear to me, they're tanking next year. They're starting Davis Mills. You've got all these people saying Davis Mills could be, a franchise. Davis Mills is not a viable NFL starter, guys. They're using Davis Mills as an excuse to tank so they can get a top 2 pick. They've also got draft capital in the event they have the 4th or 5th pick. If they need to move up to number 2, they've got multiple first-round picks. And then Seattle's another interesting team without a quarterback right now, although I would expect them to possibly trade for Baker Mayfield. That could be what ends up happening there. They do need a quarterback. Otherwise, I think they'll be starting Drew Lock. If they're starting Drew Lock, then they're tanking. And you'd think they would be trading DK Metcalf for a first-round pick. You'd think they would be doing that as well. So, very interesting. But those are kind of the 4 teams in the running. With Atlanta, it's a little different, though, because they did draft Desmond Ridder. Again, that could allow them to just take Will Anderson, and then Houston and Detroit both get the franchise quarterbacks, and then we'll see what Seattle does. Then you've got the New York Jets. You think they would stick with Zach Wilson, but who knows? Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. Carolina, they do have a quarterback question. They might trade for Baker Mayfield. Will they be bad enough to get a top 2 pick? They could be in contention. The Giants could be in contention. They've got Daniel Jones kind of on that last year. They didn't accept his 5th-year option. But let's just take a quick look at this first mock draft. I apologize for this. I don't know, man. The Mac computers are just so... It's disgusting. I mean, it is disgusting. I can't even, I'll click one thing and this is what happens. It is horrible. And then they say, well, you don't have enough space. I have 600 gigabytes worth of storage. And this is what, guys, I need to throw this computer away. I can't do this anymore. What are we doing now? What are we doing? How is this thing worth $1,000? How? And they do have Atlanta picking CJ Stroud. I'm not sure I understand that. I'm not sure I understand that one. They've got, this, if they would have Will Anderson going number 1 to Atlanta, and then they would have CJ Stroud at number 2 to Houston, that would make a lot more sense. The Bryce Young pick makes sense. Jalen Carter, that's a big boy defensive lineman from Georgia. Breezy is an interesting hybrid pass rusher. Jackson Smith-Njigba, I could see it. They want to get a superstar receiver for Trevor Lawrence. That makes sense. Myles Murphy, Paris Johnson Jr., the same guys. Ringo, Eli Ricks. Yeah, these are the same guys we expect to see. Tyler Van Dyke. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Dude, how is this thing worth $1,000? I spent $1,000 to buy this. Page unresponsive. It always does it. I am trying to just make a video. That's all I'm trying to do. I want to make a video. God, this thing, dude, and then, people defend Mac. It's so funny. Guys, I have a Mac, and I am telling you, please. Guys, I can't do it anymore. I really can't. Is this even still recording? Oh, now I have to go into the OBS and watch it skip because when it records, it doesn't have a good enough encoder to render my OBS settings, which are normal settings. I'm not live streaming to 50 million people. I'm recording a video and the OBS encoder still cannot render it. There's Jordan Edison. Yeah, I don't... Guys, Malachi Moore, he's too small. 6 foot for a safety in the first round. It's not going to happen. Tyler Van Dyke is very... Ooh, Tony Grimes. He was a former 5-star, but then reclassified a year earlier, and it knocked him down to a 4-star. Brandon Joseph, I'm not seeing... He doesn't have the talent. Wow, Josh Downs. Josh Downs. This Derek Hall, it's not going to happen, guys. They keep putting Derek Hall in the first round. I don't see that. Ryan Hayes, yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him there. They've got Gibbs on Georgia Tech here. No, Gibbs is... I'm done with this. Gibbs is actually on Alabama now because he went from the transfer portal. And then Quentin Johnson, a receiver from TCU. So there certainly are some interesting players. When you take a look, what is this? We can go to the big board. It's going to take a year to do this. I just can't do it, man. And then it's going to be the encoder. And they do have Will Anderson as the number 1 overall prospect. I agree with that. I agree with those top 3. Honestly, probably top 4. But the problem with Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's not like elite fast. So like being the number 4 overall prospect as a receiver, you got to be elite. And I love JSN. He's going to be a top 10 pick, but I'm just saying, is he on that level? It's tough. Paris Johnson Jr., he's got big shoes to fill. We'll have to see what he can do. But guys, it's the same guys. I just wanted to get everyone acquainted. I hope this actually even recorded. I'm not even sure if it did, but it's whatever, guys. But I might be doing like one of these a month or something when you go through. I mean, guys, I can't do it. I just am an innocent person who wants to record videos, and it's every day. It's an issue. It's every single day. The page is unresponsive. How is the page unresponsive? You're connected to the internet. You are connected. You have 600 gigabytes of available storage. And the encoder is not going to work now. The LB, I'm sure it's skipping. He has my webcam skipping. I would be shocked if it wasn't because this $1,000 for this. I bought it in 2017, but holy crap. I'm about to throw this thing off a balcony. I have a window right here. I'll throw it off the window. It'll hit the pavement. Yay. Well, it's a nice day out right now. I can't believe it's already May. It's already May 2nd. It's crazy, guys. But maybe we do something like one of these a month or something like that where I just update it. But realistically, what's the point of me coming back like on June 2nd and doing another? Like, what's going to change? I'm not even sure if maybe I might have to like wait a while until they actually edit these rankings. But yeah, guys, the top 3 super prospects, it's going to be, we know Will Anderson is the number 1 prospect, and then CJ Stroud, and then Bryce Young, and then you get into like JSN, Brazier, Jalen Carter, Ringo, players like that. So this is an absurdly talented draft class. A lot of 5-stars for 2023. It's so fun. You get done with a draft, but then it's brand new. You get a brand new slate, and you're going to see teams like Houston get a franchise quarterback. You're going to see Detroit definitely has to. Detroit they will blatantly try and lose games next season. I swear to you they will. And it's smart. Oh, it's smart. 100% it's smart. Absolutely. If you're a Detroit Lions fan, root against your team. Root for your young players to develop. Root for Aiden Hutchinson to have a good year. Root for Jeff Okudah to have a good year. But, with Jared Goff, if I was a Detroit Lions fan, I would be like, I hope Jared Goff throws 30 interceptions. Jared Goff's not the future. I want to get Bryce Young. I want to get CJ Stroud. So, and also the thing with Detroit that I like, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. DeAndre Swift, phenomenal running back. I like what Detroit's doing. I really do. And they've also got Jameson Williams now. Detroit, very interesting. If they take one more year, get your franchise quarterback, you need to take 1 year. Root against Jared Goff. Root for Jared Goff to throw interceptions if you're a Detroit Lions fan. But, yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.